Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm your host, Ryan Renfro, and today we are joined by the one and only Caitlyn Ramirez. Caitlyn, thanks so much for coming in and joining us.
No problem.
And we're going to jump right into it. You guys are Sun Belt Conference champions, and I got to ask, what was it like to win the Sun Belt Conference championship?
I've been asked that question so many times. There's no words that can explain how I feel or how the team feels or anything like that. It's a phenomenal feeling, and it was weird waking up the next day because you just say, I'm a Sun Belt Conference champion. Right. You say it over and over and over. No matter how many times you say it, it's unbelievable.
And I got to ask about the final 20 seconds. ABK hit that shot, the go-ahead jumper. But then on the other end of the court, the clock was winding down, and you got your hand up, and you basically won the game with, what is it, your right hand?
Yes,
awesome.
My right hand.
What was it like? I know you peeled off your man, and then because the girl dribbled down the lane, and she had a wide-open lane, game-winning shot. What was it like?
The game plan was don't leave your man, because then that'd give a dump off to the post players and they'd get an easy layup. Well, that's a layup. That's something you practice every single day. So when I just seen her coming at me, I just knew I had to get a stop somehow, some way. And I'm just glad they didn't call a foul, because it was one of those games that they probably would have called it, but I'm glad they didn't.
What was it like when you looked up and saw and you heard the buzzer, the clock hit 0, everybody started jumping up and down? Just walk us through that.
I just seen everybody running, so I was like, okay, it's over with. It's final. No, they can't say nothing about it. It wasn't a foul. There's nothing they can do about it now. So I just, whenever the block initially happened, I just grabbed the ball and I held on to it until everybody started screaming. And once when I heard, because I didn't initially hear the buzzer. So when I heard everybody, screaming and hollering, I knew it was over with.
That's so awesome. I wish I could have been there. I know. ABK said that in that moment when everybody's running around, each girl has a story. What does that mean? If you can elaborate on that, what do you think she meant by that?
Everybody has their story from their childhood till growing up and struggling as a child, and and winning the championship. It was all worth that moment, because we're all given challenges throughout life, and every challenge makes you stronger. And so there's a lot of people who's been through a lot, and we've shared these stories with each other, and it just built a relationship within every single person. And so I think that just made us stronger, and that just made the championship that much sweeter.
That's awesome. That much sweeter. What's different about this team in comparison to last year? Because I know that you guys, talk a lot about sisterhood. You guys really gelled together this year, and you're Sun Belt Conference champions. So what's different about this team?
The difference about this year is everybody's on the same page. Everybody's determined. Since the summer, we talked about postseason. It came down to championship talk and wanting to win Sun Belt championship. But when you win Sun Belt championship, you carry on into postseason. Well, if people think whenever you just make it to conference and you win conference, people just automatically check out, because mentally that's as far as they wanted to go. Well, everybody's determined since this summer that we're going to win conference and we're going to go into postseason, and accomplish one thing at a time. And I think everybody was on the same page since the beginning.
Right, and talk about the postseason. We'll go ahead into that. This week, you guys had the selection show Monday night, and as a team, you came together. You just won the championship. How did that excitement carry over, back to Trojan Arena? Because I know that, watching you guys, I got the chance to be there at the selection show, and you guys, it seemed like when your name came up on the board, Trojan Arena erupted with excitement.
It's very exciting, because that's our next challenge. That's our next, challenge that we've accepted as a team to accomplish together, because we've accomplished so much throughout the season. Even when we were in a hole, we still got out of that hole, and we still accomplished great things. So now it's up to us. To us, rankings don't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's all about making runs and who has the least amount of mistakes. And I believe that if we're determined and we have the faith that we had going into conference, the conference tournament, I think we'll be fine.
And watching you guys at the selection show, I will say ABK, she completely fell back. I watched you as well. Beforehand, you guys were, before our name was announced, Troy was announced, it was, this team going here, but every time you guys would get nervous and kind of lean forward. So what was that like, kind of anticipating the announcement?
It was my stomach was dropping every single time. I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, nope, that's not us. Oh, maybe nope, that's not us. It was really fun, and it just gave you a lot of adrenaline. And whenever we seen our name, we were just, it's go time. Now it's work. Now that we know who we have to face, it's work from here on out.
Awesome. And you guys are facing Oregon State. And like you said, rankings don't matter. They are a 2 seed coming into the tournament. You guys are a 15 seed, and you actually are from Oklahoma, correct?
Yes.
So what's it going to be like for you to go back? You're going to play in Dallas this Friday. What's it going to be like for you to go back closer to home and face off against Oregon State?
It'd be really neat. My family's been, they're all supporting. They had a watch party. My whole entire family had a watch party, basically. They go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and they just all hang out there. And then they know me, and they've been at Buffalo Wild Wings watching a lot of our games. And they just basically say, hey, this is going to be our TV, so you need to turn it to this channel. So, they already plan on doing this. So I think it's going to be really neat to have them be a big part of this whole process.
Well, I, along with a lot of people, are very excited to see you guys play.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a good game. Now let's talk a little bit about you. How did you start playing basketball?
Well, when I was younger, my family's all about sports. And at first it was softball. Softball was my go-to sport. I never thought about going to college in basketball. That was never an option for me. But then whenever I got in middle school, one of my good friends, her dad had an AAU team, summer team, and I didn't have anything to do in the summer, so I just started playing with them, and we traveled to Texas. We did a lot of traveling, so it was a lot of fun. And then I went on to a bigger summer team, and we ended up making it nationals. Went all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, and played there. We didn't do good, but it was, I was just like, it was a lot of fun. And then carried on, and then went to a small school. Got a lot of looks there because it was a small school. Everybody is literally about 5 foot between a point guard all the way to the center, and I'm the only 6 foot that's out there. So I stuck out a lot there. But then I ended up my junior and senior year, I went back to Shawnee and played there at a 5A. So it was completely different than what I did my freshman and sophomore year. So.
Gotcha. So what brought you to Troy in that whole process?
I talked to Coach Rigby during my recruiting process, and she was with me throughout the whole entire thing. And, I just said this, I'm in a situation where, I just want somebody who's going to be there for me on and off the court. And, Coach Courtney Simmons, she was a big part of the whole thing too. She was whenever I was at my JUCO in Tyler, Texas, she was at my practices. She was there, watching me, learn more, and she was watching me, step by step, and she was there to help me and influence me to do better. And then when we made it to nationals, she was there, and that just showed me, because I'm not even at Troy yet, and I'm still at my JUCO, and she's here supporting me. And by that time I've already committed here. So it's really neat to know that the coaches are there for me, personally, and, as my mentor and everything like that. So it's been really neat to have them on my side.
Right, and since your time here at Troy, you've definitely had an impact. I think last week is evidence enough with the block. But in what ways, you're a junior now, you're about to go into, a postseason, and your senior season. So in what ways have you kind of stepped into this leadership role?
In the beginning, everybody would always ask, who do you believe is the leaders of this team? And ABK was always the first one, and they said ABK and Caitlyn, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, when did I become a leader of this team? And I kind of accepted a role because I wanted to help others, because other juniors, because I'm a red shirt, I have somewhat more experience than the other juniors. So it kind of came back on that. If it wasn't, the experience is completely different. So the coaches, turned to me, was like, look, you have more experience than these other post players. So I really need you to take this role. And, I want you to understand that, this is some weight on your shoulders. But, I accepted that role, and I just hope that, others listen to me and believe in me, because I know my coaches do. So I just hope that the other team does too.
Right, and really quick, is there anything, I know you guys just found out about Oregon State, but is there anything about this team that you guys are already preparing for?
Well, they're not a running team. We are a running team who, leads nationally in scoring. Mm-hmm. So we would like to take that advantage against them, and we're just going to be running, so I hope they have their running shoes.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Caitlyn Ramirez, thank you very much for joining us today. And good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you as well for tuning in, and stay tuned for more Troy Trojan Vision Sports. Remember to stay up to date on all Troy sports. Thank you for joining us.